Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. It is, day 2 of the tampering period.
Why are you there?
I'm sitting in the big Hoge seat. So Adam Hoge, let's not freak out. Hoge is...
Got your illness.
He's got... No. I did not get Hoge sick, and I think I sound, 3% better today?
No.
Better, yeah.
Let's
you look better. You got more color to you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yesterday was...
Hopefully you won't rush to the bathroom and multiple times again.
I did go 5 times yesterday.
5 times?
It was, because
I was sitting in my office, and there were several times where you were thundering past, and I was like, check out that guy's 40 time.
I was going for it yesterday because every time we went into a read, I'm drinking so much tea to do what I can, and okay, I feel fine. But so Hoge's out at Northwestern's Pro Day, hanging out with Ryan Poles, hanging out with Matt Eberflus, hanging out with Peter Skoronsky, hanging out with Pat Fitzgerald. Kevin is sitting in. Nick is here. The Bears are making. I thought we were going to go live last night. I don't know where you guys were at. I was calling everybody. Come on. The Bears have signed DeMarcus Walker. He's their best defensive end, defensive lineman, 3-year, $21 million deal. Dude started 5 games last year. Nick, I know you were fired up when you got the Walker news.
Fired up is one way to describe it. I just started watching some film on him. In a half of football that I watched, it was with him and Nate Davis, obviously coming from the Tennessee Titans. Way more impressed with what I saw from Nate Davis and why it makes sense for the Bears bringing him on. Walker didn't really show me much. I still have more tape to do, but to me at this point, he just seems like a guy.
He's the Al-Qadim Muhammad replacement. He has nowhere to go but up. That's how I'm looking at him. 32 QB pressures last year. Let's give our credit to Pro Football Focus for that tidbit. He posted a pressure rate of more than 10% in each of the last 2 seasons, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Best season of his NFL career last year, 7 sacks. He started 6 games for the Titans. Apparently, we are just Titan Central over here right now. Let's go Nate Davis. Let's go DeMarcus Walker. Tennessee's a fine town. I just think as we all sit back here, and of course we're being, everybody loves how aggressive the Bears are being, and I think the belief in Ryan Poles is incredibly strong after the trade out of number 1. But I do think it's an interesting day yesterday. Tremaine Edmunds, anybody have that on their bingo card? I know I didn't. And so we're TJ Edwards, 2 linebackers. So doing it a little different here, Kevin Kadick. Good to see you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me fill a seat. I filled a seat on CHGO Bulls last night.
It's like the Oscars.
When Io got up. Yeah. But I feel a little bit more comfortable talking Bears, more so than Bulls. And yes, it was interesting to see what the Bears did yesterday, that they went out and shored up the linebacking core first, which, something that I don't think we saw coming, but it was nice to see. Tremaine Edmunds obviously has been around. He's a captain. He's a Pro Bowler. He's coming here, and I think he's going to change that room and really kind of lead that room. And was it maybe a little bit of an overpay? Sure, but you had room to overpay at least one guy.
Yeah,
I don't think they necessarily overpaid the other 2 guys. So let's go.
Let's throw a carmathetical out there to start the show, if you will. To the chat, to you, Nick, to you, Kevin, to you, Lawrence, to you, Hoge out in Evanston somewhere. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that these moves were being made by Ryan Pace and not Ryan Poles. How do you think they would be received right now?
Why?
Who the hell is getting to the quarterback?
Why are we doing this?
Because I want to. Because I'm trying to bring some level of balance.
Right.
I'm not trying to, for lack of a better word, shit on it.
The burden of proof is still there. I do see people going out there and saying King Poles, and here comes Poles, and he's the man.
And maybe
it almost kind of makes me think of 2 years ago when we were thinking the same thing about Arturas Karnisovas over at the United Center, right?
Yeah.
Now AK's reputation in Chicago, not quite as
right.
good.
And for the record, at the time I was like, what are we going to do with DeMar DeRozan? How's that going to work out?
But we have to see how these pan out because, Poles has already had a swing at this free agency thing, and it didn't pan out last year. And you could say, okay, well, maybe they were, trying to intentionally or not so intentionally tank. Maybe. But at the same time, you would have liked to think that they would have unearth maybe a gem or two here or there, and I don't think they did that.
I think I don't know if it's an issue yet, but they haven't addressed the premium positions that the Bears desperately need. Mm-hmm. You need tackles, offensive tackles. You need defensive ends, that 3-tech. And Walker, he's kind of a hybrid. He'll play inside, he'll play outside on the defensive line. But I think going into this free agency with all the money the Bears had, that's what you thought they would invest heavy money into. Yeah. They haven't done that yet, and they still have those needs left. And obviously there's a draft, but I think as I'm kind of looking at it, like you upgrade the linebacker position, which is great. Now you go from having one of the worst coverage linebacker units last year to arguably one of the best, which is a great plus. But you still need to get that 3-tech. You still need to get tackles that can protect Justin Fields, and Ryan Poles at this moment hasn't done that.
And does he have enough draft capital to actually address that? You can say, okay, great. It's a draft that is heavy in edge rushers. Great, we'll address that there. We might be able to get that with the 9th pick or even later. But yeah, it's like
Look, Team Poles. I'm on board. I'm just saying. Yeah. Look, it's a little odd. You need a tackle. You apparently, according to all reports, the Bears were right there with Mike McGlinchey. They were like in on
$87 million.
If we were sitting here right now and talking about that money, it would be a different tenor here.
Right, but Lawrence, they were there. Supposedly they were that 17, and he went for 17 and a half, which I'm sure he did not go.
I'm glad they didn't go that high for him.
Yeah,
he's 30.
Well, I mean, you say that, and maybe so, but the fact of the matter is they were there. Like he wanted to do it. It sounds to me like McGlinchey preferred to go to Denver for whatever reason. I wouldn't. I mean, I can't put myself in those shoes. But if I was getting offered $17 million and getting $17.5 million a year, I'm not making the decision on where I'm going based on the money. It's going to be based on a lot of other factors, and that's fine. That's not necessarily a knock on the Bears. But the fact of the matter is they wanted to give this dude the money, and he didn't take it by many reports. So, and maybe that'll work out great for the Bears. But it didn't work out the way they wanted it to work out. And so then they pivoted and signed a guard who, I mean, there's no way I wouldn't think in the Bears situation right now you're signing that dude with the intent to cut Cody Whitehair. To me, the most logical thing that's happening here is they are going to move because they don't have a center. And you can't rely on Lucas Patrick, and Cody Whitehair has been a center. So I would think that they're going to move him back at this age. And he's been a better guard. And so and maybe it'll work out. But and Nate Davis is athletic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The more of the two athletic guards is typically the left guard.
The musical chairs aspect of the offensive line, as it looks right now, is a little bit concerning, right?
Right, you're musical chairing Davis.
You figured out a good spot for Tevin Jenkins. You struck gold at that. Maybe that was your best move of last season, and now you bring in a guy who's only started at right guard, and Nate Davis. Now, is it just
is
it just a shell game or
right? I mean, Jawan Taylor's going to move from right tackle to left tackle and protect Patrick Mahomes. The Bears are going to take Nate Davis and move him from right guard to left guard. Nate Davis, you can do it. I believe in you, Nate Davis. But that's what they're doing. That's what it sounds like they're doing. They're going to move him to left guard. They're going to hope they're going to cross their fingers and hope that Tevin Jenkins stays healthy. And I think Cody Whitehair is going to get a shot to play center.
It's going to be interesting what the Bears end up doing with this offensive line, and just watching a little bit of Nate Davis yesterday. He's a guy that can get to the second level. He fits this wide zone scheme. What, Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach, is going to ask out of his lineman to do. He can get up to the second level, has good movement skills. Just where does he see him fit best? And maybe that is left guard. Maybe it's right guard, and you see if Tevin Jenkins can swing back out to tackle. Who knows at this moment? But quickly going back to the McGlinchey, just the Bears not getting him. If the Bears had him today, signed for the same deal that he signed with Denver, wouldn't you feel better about the protection that Justin Fields going to have next season? You actually have a right tackle. If you're overpaying, it's going to happen in free agency regardless of who you go get.
That was a lot of money, a lot of years. And I will say this: if McGlinchey had to go somewhere for a lot of money, may as well be the 49ers, because that's a team that's going to be there and competing against the Bears if and when the Bears do get to that level. So let's stick them with some crappy money, right? Let's do it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Hey, a super chat from our guy Devontae. He said, would Skoronski's arm length make him a liability in the NFL for years to come? If we draft him just to move him to guard, not the best move. And yeah, that touches in with what I'm saying. Like, you can't be doing all of this, just kind of switching around. If you're going to spend a number 9 pick on Peter Skoronski,
well, that reminds me, I forgot something.
are you going to pigeonhole in a different thing? In a different position? Do you really want to spend a number 9 pick on a guard? That's
the thing too. Like that seems high, right? To go inside. If a tackle, that's where you could see a top 10 pick going. But I think the idea is that if Skoronski does have to move inside, you're gonna have a reliable player there. But that's the question: do you use? Oh, wrong hand.
Is that like spending your number 8 pick on an inside linebacker, and 5 years later you're trading him?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because he wants $20 million.
Yeah.
So, and the problem, you were not going to get around this, really. You were going to have to be drafting for needs because the Bears have so many needs. But now you're in a spot at 9 with the way that this has fallen. Do you have to draft an offensive lineman? Like, you have to get a tackle there. You don't have to.
I just get the feeling they're going to fall in love with one of the edge rushers. Whoever that may be, I don't think we know at this point what Poles and Eberflus want, but I think that's the end game here.
So, but then, okay, and if that is the end game, then you got to go out. You're going to have to go. They're going to sign another lineman.
Yeah,
that's what's going to have to happen. Greg Braggs joining the chat. What's up, Greg Braggs? What's up, gang?
Jay Toasty with a nice super.
Jay Toasty, what's up, my friend? Super chat $4.99. Appreciate you, Jay Toasty. A free emphasis on free. Agents can decide where they go. Chicago isn't a destination in free agency yet. Why would a guy want to be the solo stud on the D line? Right. Correct, Jay Toasty. I'm with you. You are going to have to overpay at this point. There's no doubt about that. That, hey, come here and be the lone dude and try to save our defense is not going to be appealing.
Speaking
but on the other side of the coin, Tremaine Edmunds, let's look at his part in that, Jay Toasty. Hey, dude, you want to come to Chicago for 4 years and $72 million and have 8 offensive linemen on you every game right now? Because that's what it looks like. He's putting his trust.
You're going to earn your money.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, speaking of overpaying, what is Jimmy saying here? $4.99. Which positions do you consider to be premium when spending free agent money?
I mean, there would be the tackle position. If you're looking at where you're going to overpay guys, it's going to be the offensive tackle position. It's going to be probably edge rusher. Like those are those premium positions that every single NFL team covets if they don't have them. And, so far the Bears.
But if you were going to do it, you do it for a younger guy. You do it for a little bit more sound guy. You do it for, I think, a guy that's better than Mike McGlinchey. So
he was getting better since he entered the league. His pressure pass rate given up. He's been better the last 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. He fits the scheme of what the Bears want to do.
I thought we were over the whole McGlinchey thing. He's too old. He penalized too much. He's not disciplined.
And the Bears just don't have a right
We're talking about a guy who's still not over Ryan Pace here. So
I'm not. Oh, hold on. I think it's an interesting exercise to try to put yourself in your Bears fan seat 2 years ago, and Pace is making these moves. Hey, you have nobody on the defensive line. We just paid a ton of money for Tremaine Edmunds. Bears fans might have killed him. I'm not.
Yeah, but the Edmunds move. I don't know who tweeted it yesterday, but the thing where it was Edmunds plus Edwards. And that draft pick was $24.5 million, and Roquan wanted $20.
I read it,
so that's a seems like a very smart decision.
Yeah, I saw all that calculus, but if we rewind back to the middle of the season,
that's not really calculus. That's just sort of algebra, I think.
Are you in a fighting mood over here? Just want to.
I think it's because you're in that seat.
Yeah, you just. But Benito just doesn't like me. We have a. I like it.
Oh, come on.
No, it's a love. But so here. I just lost my train of thought on that one. Okay. Where were we just at?
I don't know. Buy the brick by brick shirt.
Yeah.
Those flew off the shelves yesterday, which was awesome. Thank you for everyone who went in and bought Braggs' brick by brick shirt, which we premiered. They're going fast. If you want the hoodie version, and I know you do have to become a CHGO diehard, so check that out at allchgo.com. Braggs was so. Did you find your thing?
I found my thought.
Hold on.
Yes.
Braggs was jacked yesterday.
Braggs was jacked. Braggs should have been jacked. We were all jacked, and the shirt is awesome. And buy the shirt, and I'm gonna nonstop start wearing that shirt.
Where's the brick at?
Did he take the brick bag with him?
It's right over there. Do I have to bring that out too?
I see it.
All right. This is
that guy
Actually, you
JT
can
in the
see it
brick.
behind Kevin.
JT the brick.
JT the Brick does a good show. The point on the calculus with Roquan and Tremaine Edmunds that Lawrence just brought up, and it's a good point. If you look at the value that they got with the second round pick and Edwards and Edmunds, it does look good when compared to Roquan. But the whole point of the Roquan thing was that the Bears were not going to pay for that position. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, let's just go into a vacuum right here, okay? You could have paid the 3 years, $51 million that Draymond Jones got from the Seahawks, or you can pay the Edmunds deal. How are people voting on that? Which one would you have rather done? Now you're overpaying for the 3 tech. You look like you're paying for the 3 tech.
I am.
I
am paying for the 3 tech. Look, Edmunds, I think, is going to have a lot of success in this system, especially given the length. That's what he had. That's what Eberflus had in Shaquille Leonard, right? A longer middle linebacker that can get in the middle of the field, play that cover 2 defense. But they still don't have the 3 tech. And unless I see the Bears actually address that with a guy, you have to question, again, how productive these linebackers can actually be in this system. So unless that spot gets filled, like there's going to be some question marks about it.
And just to try to calm you down on that one and myself down and whoever else, they're going to get people up there that are going to play. He just might have a rough first year. And then people are like, hey, Tremaine Edmunds, can you do anything, buddy? Because, this is not somebody that is – he's long, he's fast, he's a great cover linebacker, but he's not going to be shedding blockers, and that's not his game. So he's going to need a little bit of help here, like most linebackers, by the way. So I don't –
You bring in a defensive coach – and you bring in with a system that's so reliant on the 3 tech. And then if your first 2 seasons, you don't have a guy who's a studded 3 tech.
What are we doing here?
I mean, Larry Ogunjobi, welcome back.
He's a free agent.
He's out there, man.
He's a free agent right
Sheldon
now.
Rakins.
Probably not getting the deal that he would have gotten last year.
No.
Or Larry.
He's not. That sound, if anybody hears that, is probably Adam Hoge, who's definitely checking in with us from somewhere. He was either going to come in studio
We'll let him set up.
Before he comes on, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Someone just took a shot at my shoes, which it's deserved. These are a little older. In my defense,
Kevin's been trying to.
Those are bad
I
shoes.
do have a Nike order coming in. I did put in for the Air Jordan 3s. Didn't win that. Twice.
Yeah, you always text me when you're in on something.
And I didn't know I was coming on today. I would have worn a nicer pair of shoes. So you're going to have to deal with these kind of beat up Air Maxes.
And, I put on the 2s today because, it just felt like a Tuesday, and I also don't have any
Tuesday.
Tuesday. 2s on Tuesday. There we go. Yeah, all good. Nick, why don't you tell us about our fine folks at DraftKings leading us to the promised land?
Yeah, DraftKings, which is America's top-rated sportsbook, one of the best times, in my opinion, and I think everyone would agree, to start placing some bets is during March Madness. So you have to take advantage of all the ways you can make bets with DraftKings, and of course you can bet on the NBA, MLB, and the XFL. Whatever you're thinking of, most likely DraftKings going to have something for you to bet on.
Champions League matches today.
There you go.
I've
If you
got some
Lawrence, the
bets in.
Champions League matches. So check out DraftKings to do that. But first, what you have to do, you have to download the app now and sign up with code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, MLB, Champions League. You could do that, but first you got to do that with the code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Don't we have to do a play?
My
do we have to do a
official-
play of the week? Is there a play of the week we have to do today?
There is a play of the week, which they can look up right now.
Well, here, let me.
That says shoes are a reflection of your home. If they were a reflection of my home, I probably wouldn't be able to afford a home.
And I would like to, whoever just put in the chat that's now flowing through, thank to everybody checking in today. I have the original 2s and I've never worn them. You, sir, are my hero. That's awesome. Game time, by the way. Let's get some.
we're not doing our play of the
Let's
week?
get some live sporting events going on. Yes.
You don't need my DraftKings play of the week?
Oh, I'd love to hear the DraftKings play of the week.
You got one, Lawrence?
Well, I'll just say that I'm tailing a gentleman who has been dealing with some good Champions League picks lately, and so we got some Champions League matches today. And what's my pick of the week if we're going to do it?
Do the Bulls play?
No, the Bulls play tomorrow against Sacramento, and we'll be talking about that a bit during the game time. I don't know. Let's just I don't know. How about the Real Madrid at Liverpool? That's tomorrow's game. But Real Madrid, we're going to put them to win because Liverpool is already down by 3 goals in this two-legged competition here, and they're going to give up a goal, and then they're going to just say, you know what, that's fine. We're going to lose. So Real Madrid's going to win.
What are the odds on that?
Plus 135 for Real Madrid to win.
Okay.
So that's, I'll
Thank
take
you,
that.
Lawrence.
There you go.
You have your play of the week.
Good. There we go.
Game time.
Game time DraftKings play of the week. And now, yes, Game Time, the hottest new ticketing site, makes it easier than ever to get the best deals, tickets to sports, concert shows, anything you need, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats, wherever you want to be. There is no better deal in the secondary market than Game Time tickets. So download the app like 15 million people have done. And next thing you want to go to, NCAA tournament, Blackhawks, Bulls, whatever it is, buy it through the link in the description here. That's how you can truly support us and Game Time at the same time, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Game Time tickets, again, best prices, best seats, Game Time tickets, get her done. All right, out to Evanston, Illinois we go, where King Hoge is hanging out in
King Hoge,
the Wildcat Palatial.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful indoor facility where they should be winning Big Ten championships, but unfortunately only won one game this year. Don't worry. Don't worry. I was there, by the way. Sideline duty.
I was going to say, 1-0 for you, Carm.
Yes. So how'd it go out there, Adam Hoke? Thank you for joining your show. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm staring at beautiful Lake Michigan. If I do a turnaround, you might be able to see that. Gives you. I promised Paul Kennedy and the fine folks in Northwestern I would show off their beautiful facility while I jumped on with you guys. Yeah, no, it's here's the weird thing about pro days is the most awkward part for me is that it's like a library in here right now. In fact, I feel like I'm still talking too loud. I really can't tell.
Is it like the combine?
You want to whisper to us? That'd be
it really is.
They can't ask you to be in the facility and then also be quiet.
No. I know that's a decision I'm making on my own. But yes, it is very much like the combine, which you guys experienced. Carm's favorite sporting event of all time. But yeah, it's like a library in here. It's a little awkward, but the Bears are here. Pretty much everybody that you could think of, from GM Ryan Poles. Their scouting staff is really running this whole show today. They were running, all the 40 times the workouts. Right now, the running backs are still going. Peter Skoronski, who of course is, the biggest name here today. It was Chris Morgan, the Bears offensive line coach, who ran that portion of it. So, the Bears are in full force here, which has not always been the case at Northwestern's Pro Days. I think that's notable. And I think they're taking a close look at really all of their guys, but especially Skoronski and Adetomo Adebore, who just went through his defensive line drills here just a moment ago before I jumped on with you.
Did anything just seeing Adebare just kind of doing the defensive line drills, does he look as advertised from what we've kind of saw at the combine to what you saw just now?
Yeah, and I was gathering a little bit of intel on him. I think he is kind of a tough read right now for scouts because I'm not sure, based on some conversations I've had today, that he was really considered a top prospect until he did what he did at the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine. So I think teams are still trying to sort through that. Hey, why was his production not higher? Was he playing out of position is something I've had a lot of people ask me. But I think that answer to that question is really more that Northwestern was playing him all over the defensive line because they had to. I think he's a 3 technique at the next level. I think that's what a lot of teams think. I think that's what the Bears think. So it's just a matter of where is that value? Because I feel like a lot of like if I were to put a mock draft out right now and put him at number 53, I feel like the common response on Twitter would be, oh, he's not going to last that long. I don't know, though. I think teams are still trying to weigh that film versus, what he's done since January. And it's a tough read right now. And so I think for players like that, today's an important day. He was just working out with 2 other defensive linemen, some local guys I didn't even know, because they have some local kids from other schools here. And so from a comparison standpoint, he was blowing those guys out of the water, but that's probably not a fair comparison, because I'm not sure that those guys are anything more than a couple guys who'll get invited maybe to some rookie mini camps.
I mean, look, Adebawore, let's just go look at the numbers. Most sacks he's ever had in a season is 5. He did that last year. He had 4.5 as a junior, 1 as a freshman, 2 as a sophomore. All right. Tackles for loss, 9 last year, 8.5 as a junior. I mean, point being, none of these things jump off your board. I would think he would be there, despite the fact that he is a physical specimen that is wowing everybody right now at the combine. I think you will be able to get him, would be my guess. And it would be an interesting play, because when you are on the defensive line at Northwestern and there's not a lot of help around you and you're competing in the Big Ten, it's a heavy lift. So it could be a guy who, in a better system would have flashed a ton more, and you might be getting huge value. I mean, this guy's a big-time athlete, so he's an interesting name. I'm almost more excited about Adebawore than Skoronski, and I'm totally fine if the Bears pick Skoronski, because it would be logical considering where they're at right now.
Adam, obviously a lot of the narrative around Skoronski is about his arm length or his arm's too short, whatever. Today when you guys were talking with Fitz was saying, well, I don't know, maybe some of that is being put out there so people, he falls down into maybe the teens, or, so someone can pick him up. Where's the truth there?
Good question.
It's a great question. Yeah, Fitz's response was pretty much what I thought it would be, which was to laugh. And that's it's pretty. That didn't surprise me at all. I think the truth is somewhere in that he'll be he's still a first round talent, because that's what the tape says. But if his arms were a couple inches longer, is he in play for a top 3 pick? Maybe. So I think the conclusion there is I'm not too worried about it, because I've seen enough of Skoronski to know that I think he can play left tackle. The same thing happened with Rashawn Slater. He's been fine at left tackle in the NFL. I think Skoronski can be that. If they need him to move over to right tackle, I think he has the ability to do that. If he needs to switch to guard, I think then he becomes a dominant guard at the next level, which is certainly not a bad thing. So I think it puts him sort of in that wheelhouse where the Bears are right now at number 9 with that number 9 overall pick. So I would think he's very much in play. Especially as you look at what happened yesterday, and things can still change here, and even in the coming hours. But they didn't get their right tackle. They made a run at Mike McGlinchey. They had a price on him. The Broncos topped it, and that's fine. I think being disciplined there is a smart way to go about it. And now you look at the draft, and I think for both of these main positions, based on what we saw yesterday, whether it's tackle or a 3 technique, those are the top 2 guys that Northwestern has here today, which is a big reason why I think the Bears are here and putting as much effort into this pro day as you would think. Now, one of the things I can tell you, Ryan Poles being here today, he is on his way. Not just him, but the Bears staff. They're going to be at Georgia tomorrow. Georgia's pro day. Another 3 technique, obviously, and Jalen Carter. They got to do their digging on that whole situation. And does Jalen Carter come and play now at number 9 with those issues? So, and granted, Georgia has plenty of other players to take a look at too. So it's not surprising that the Bears would be there, but that's where they're headed tomorrow.
Adam, we have a really good super chat from Dan Kelly here. He says, don't draft offensive guard top 10. Might be dated. Most D tackles can rush the passer. Tired of A-gap blitzes. Ending Bears drive. Skoronski at 9 and left guard is set. Would you be all right with, and we actually have another one here from Ron Swanson, 181. Don't want a guard at 9. Skoronski is a guard at pro level. A lot of varying opinions on whether or not a guard at 9, if that's where Skoronski ends up playing in the NFL, is worth the pick. What's your take on that?
You're not drafting a guard at 9. I promise. But go ahead, Hoge.
Yeah, but that gets back to the crux of the last question is ultimately the Bears' homework on Skoronski. Do they think he's a tackle or guard? If their conclusion is he's going to be just fine playing tackle, then I could totally see them drafting him at 9. If not, then I don't think that they would make that move. But I, as always, appreciate the super chat. I just wonder how many people, and I saw it in my Twitter responses right away today with Skoronski. Oh, he's a guard. He's a guard. He's a guard. What are you basing that off of? Because the only film I've seen at the high school and college level is he's a left tackle, and a pretty damn good one. So we're just making that conclusion of arm size? I mean, I just think that's a ridiculous way to go about it. Is it a factor? Absolutely. It's one piece of the puzzle. But to just definitively say the guy can't play tackle at the NFL level just because of an arm length measurement is just ridiculous.
Do you have any thoughts on Laramie Tunzel, Hoge, who just tweeted out?
He's good at football.
I'm just trying to get creative here on how to solve this issues. I don't think the Bears haven't been tied to him at all, but he's got a tweet out there of 28 minutes ago with something's going on in Tunzel land. So I don't know.
Tunzel land.
Give me. I don't know. Give me your. Caleb McGarry's been in the chat a ton today. Bears fans looking for help here on the offensive line. Do you have a number one target that's interesting you? McGarry had a heart issue back in the day. I don't know how the Bears look at that. Good against the run. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're just going to address this in the draft.
Well, I think it's a combination of both probably. If you're looking at McGarry and then probably more draft picks, and I say plural because you saw them do that last year, throw multiple picks at the offensive line. I would think that could happen again. But McGarry's somebody I had in my newsletter last week. I always thought he was a little bit more realistic than McGlinchey because I thought McGlinchey's market would be pretty high, and we saw that yesterday. So I think, somebody who has ties to Chris Morgan, the Bears offensive line coach, who was in Atlanta when they drafted Caleb McGarry, I think it's an interesting fit. I think it's a cheaper fit too. And it's one where I could see that happening, a right tackle, and then maybe you still draft Skoronski. I don't think there's anything wrong. Just look at what happened yesterday. There's no way when I woke up yesterday that I thought Jack Sanborn would be in a position where he'll only be on the field for a third of the snaps next year. But, I think the Bears looked at the premium positions in free agency were costing a ton of money, and they felt like they could target non-premium positions at a cheaper price. And essentially they ended up with 2 long-term starting linebackers for the price of Roquan Smith. And so you can see why they took that approach that they did. And so I think that you got to take that logic at what they've done at some of these other positions and look at, future moves that are still coming, because we're starting to see now in Ryan Poles' second free agency go around sort of what the blueprint is, the values, and the way they go about this.
Up to Poles and tell him that from all of us in Sand God Nation, we're not thrilled about this situation. We don't. This Sand God out there for 28% of the time is not what we're looking for here, Ryan Poles. But we do trust you to the end of the earth because you're Ryan Poles, damn it, and we love you, and you're going to get this right, and we're going to win the Super Bowl.
I think he may have already left here. If he's still around, I'll pass that along. I'll make sure that the Sand God Nation is heard.
Yeah, I mean, look, we appreciate him coming on CHGO Bears at the Combine, and he's it's open seat any time for him, of course. And the Sand God thing is just not going to stand. $5 from the Grand Poobah, who maybe that could be the greatest super chat moniker of all time. Quote: Ask Hoge, is Poles still there? Is he getting busy? Eyes emoji. Did you see him on the phone at all when you were out there at him, or was he just watching cats?
No, he was focused on the cats. But I do think he left. I do think he left at this point. I saw him walking away at one point. I know Flus left. So I don't know. In Twitter land, maybe you should start getting excited. Maybe that means something's about to happen, or it just means that they have the next thing to do on their very busy itinerary of priorities.
People really liked
now.
what he was wearing. He had the Canadian Goose jacket, some Bears warm-ups, and then a pair of Jordan 4s. It looked like a comfortable thing to evaluate in.
Look, you guys are more qualified than me to explain what that means in the grand scheme of what people should be wearing in life. But yes, people on Twitter clearly very excited about what King Poles is wearing.
Well, just, the Jordan 4s, Ho, you should know this. That's the shot against Cleveland. That's 1989. That's 3 seconds. Elo with the backdoor to beat Craig Hodges. That's hanging in the air. That's beating the Knicks and Patino. That's going up 2-1 on the Pistons. Shot off the glass. Rodman trying to cover him. Isaiah too late coming over. He's wearing that shoe. If that doesn't give you confidence in your Bears general manager, I don't know what does.
I mean, when you put it that way, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And it clearly means the Bears are winning the Super Bowl sometime in the near future.
All right. Hey, before you go, we'll get back to one serious question for you. Of all the free agents that have signed that the Bears didn't sign, who do you wish they would have signed?
Interesting question.
Says YouTube short written all over it.
YouTube with the pause. We're leaving it in there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Draymond Jones, just because I'm concerned at where that D line is right now. As you look at it, I think it increases the desperation you might have on the defensive line, and desperation is always a bad word to use and a bad thing to have. Now, I think that's where it's good to remind people that I don't envision the Bears getting desperate. I think that people looking at this like they're trying to win this season, I don't necessarily – I mean, I think they're trying to win more, but I don't think that they're trying to put together a Super Bowl run here right now. I think they're just kind of, in the words of that shirt that's on the screen right now, brick by brick, build this thing in a smart way. So, obviously, I think Draymond Jones would have helped. I think, again, though, you look the thing I wasn't sure about him was it's a little bit of a projection. You're kind of like, okay, we've seen what he did with the Broncos, but can he take that next step? And for the amount of money he was getting, I think it was a little risky. So I think that's probably where the Bears, again, held firm on whatever their number was. But I think that's probably how I'd answer your question, because I still have concerns about who's actually going to keep those blockers off this really good linebacker tandem that they put together.
Yeah, I mean, I asked Nick and Kevin the same question. If Draymond Jones or Tremaine Edmunds, for the money that they signed for, who would you rather have?
I think Edmunds, though. I think Tremaine Edmunds. I have to say, for the free agent group that they've put together, the part of the reason why I'm so optimistic about it is because the one guy they took a financial risk on was Tremaine Edmunds, and that's a guy I just love. Like, I just think he's a really good player. I think at this point he's probably going to be the Mike linebacker, not the Will, because that's a position that he's used to playing. And I think TJ Edwards has the capability of playing the Will. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but that's kind of where I'm at now on that. And, for as much emphasis as we know they have on the Will linebacker position, we still saw this defense work best in the past when they had a really good, giant-sized, athletic middle linebacker in Brian Urlacher. And I'm not saying Tremaine Edmunds is Brian Urlacher by any means, but I just can see why they're going that route and why they're willing to pay. And it's still not ridiculous money. Like I said before, you got two starting caliber above, like good starting caliber linebackers for the price of Roquan Smith. And I think from a business standpoint, you can see why they did that.
Adam Hoge, good stuff, my brother. We miss you in studio, but we love you on the lakefront. If you want to call back in from the actual lake, and give us that visual, we're open to it.
In the water. I mean, I'm willing to do that in a couple months, but
there you go.
Not so much today. We are going to go talk to Peter Skoronski here at Ottumwa. Anything you guys want me to pass along to those future Bears?
Some people think Peter has short arms, if you want to let him know that.
Yeah, I'll ask him about that.
Okay.
We'll see what he has to say about that. But obviously, you heard Fitz was pushing for Skoronski to the Bears already, so we'll have to get Skoronski's reaction to that. Because the thing is, he's not like Cole Kmet or TJ Edwards. This is a guy who grew up a Packer fan because his Was his uncle was a Packer? Is that the story? I think it is.
Grandfather, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask him what he thinks about Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
Ugh.
I just saw a tweet pop up. Did something just happen with that, by the way?
Yeah, Diana Rossini just tweeted that Aaron Rodgers has provided the New York Jets with a wish list of free agents he would like them to target and acquire. It includes Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, and Odell Beckham Jr.
Is he kidding? Is this a joke?
It's from Diana Rossini. It's a blue check mark.
Dude, God.
That is unbelievable. I'm looking at it right now. Let me just read
Are
this
you
for
allowed to
myself.
do that when you're under contract with a different team?
How is this possible? What is this?
I'm sure Garrett Wilson is watching that on his vacation and loving that, right?
I mean, seriously, New York Jets.
And
Have some
Discipline.
Some respect for yourself.
Look in the mirror and say you're not going to do this. I mean, come on. I know that whatever you're too late on literally all the quarterbacks out there, but go lay your lot with Gardner Minshew at this point over this dude. He's still sitting out there. Go get my guy Gardner. Damn it. All right, Hoge. Good stuff, brother.
all right, yeah, I'm on the move now because we're going to talk to Adetomo Adebore.
He has no idea.
Send it in if it's any good. We'll,
out.
or not good.
Well, he's right next to me. You guys want to say hi?
Is it Adetomo?
What's going on?
Say hello to. Yeah, he's right there.
What's going
He can't
on?
hear you guys though, but we're about to go. We're about to go talk to him over here. So I'll tell him you say hi.
Okay.
Thanks,
He
Adam.
just dominated his pro day.
Okay.
All right,
There
guys,
we
we'll talk to you later.
I will throw in that I
Can we just claim that we had him on our show now?
I think we can, and I've talked to Adetomo.
I mean, you can't really claim very well because I did tell you to get off the thing with Adam because his shot was crapping out, but you guys just kept talking to him after that. So, we sort of saw him.
We do have this thing called Slack.
I mean, I did
You
actually
could type the
say
message
it
in there
to you.
so we could actually read it and not
I heard it.
read your sign language.
Okay.
I think we did a great job getting Hoge off there, and Adam did a good job contributing, and we got to see Adetomo. And to finish that point, or my thought on Adetomo, great dude. I mean, I know that nobody really, we're not going to draft the guy because he's a great guy, but he just did 225 benches 28 times. One more time than he did it at the combine. Not easy to add on another rep in in a week's time. Adetomo is out there getting it done, man. I will be excited if they go out of Bahrain.
Can we talk about this Rodgers thing real quick?
Sure.
Let's wrap this up.
Absolutely.
I assume like Randall Cobb would be happy to have a job. The rest of these guys, are they in on going to New York? Or are they just looking at this tweet and saying, why are you bringing me into this?
I'm sure they're all wondering, sure, you can go get me paid, Aaron. I mean, I guess. But
Especially like Mercedes Lewis. What is he like? He's getting closer to like 40, if I'm not mistaken. Like that dude, the only reason he's like relevant now is because of Rodgers. And I mean, they're really good buddies. But yeah, that's nuts that he basically has the Jets in his hand and saying, give me these guys. These are my guys.
I mean, it could have just gone like, if we want to give him a slight 1% benefit of any doubt here, it could have just been like, hey, dude, we really want you. If you do come, who else would you be interested in? And then he gives him this versus like him storming in the door saying, this is who I want.
Right.
I go with the second.
I mean,
Does he deserve that benefit of the doubt?
You want to make Rodgers happy, right?
No, he does not.
I am a bow down to elite athletes guys type of guy myself. Like I would,
You don't say.
who does Jordan want on the team? Great, go get him. Go,
Yeah, go get him.
Says the guy who has christened a rookie linebacker Sand God.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right, exactly. I mean, these guys are my heroes. I got into this business because I worship them and I want to be friends with them. That's all true. I literally had no plan coming out of college, and the only thing I wanted to do was get in the locker room and see Jordan.
How's it going for you?
I mean, I'm still here, so I guess it's overall we'll call it a win. It's been quite the journey.
You need it to be like that guy that what's Jordan's limo driver buddy's name? George.
Yeah, George Kohler. I mean, if I could have been Kohler, I would have.
That would have been the ideal job for you. Randomly pick him up from the airport and have your life set.
I don't know if my ego could have handled it. To be honest, I probably would have can you get me on the team or what? Like,
My dad did that once. He was a limo driver and drove Jordan from the airport to his hotel. He's like, it was the craziest thing. Most he remembers it and tells me vividly like it was yesterday.
That doesn't seem possible.
Yeah.
He had Kohler. How did your dad get in there for Kohler?
I don't know. He said he drove him.
Kohler was on vacation.
Maybe.
Kohler was on.
Kohler like vacations with Jordan.
I don't think Kohler is allowed. I think that gig you don't get any vacation. But it does, on the Rodgers part, it does seem like he is out the door, right?
He can't go back to Green Bay.
He's
like,
not coming back. It's over.
No.
I mean, I don't know if we should be. Tell us.
And the Jets are so far down the creek that they kind of have to deal with all this.
I mean,
you
New
made the Gardner Minshew joke. Like that's kind of where they are right now.
It's
which for the record, I mean, the Bears aren't.
You don't have Mike White any longer to save your ass.
no, yeah.
If the Bears would be, give Gardner a call, I would be super excited about that. Just in the case that Justin missed a couple games this year. I love Gardner. But you're the Jets. You're already a clown show. Like, you might as well just add on. Like, you might So now you're begging for Aaron. Like, that's probably better than what you normally do, which is draft Zach Wilson and completely blow it. I mean, Zach Wilson went 1,000 times worse than Trubisky went.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take that.
And the Jets are sitting
Jets.
at 13 right now in the draft, so it's not like, let's say they can't get Rodgers, he retires or whatever. Are you just going to roll with Zach Wilson, or you're at the 13th pick looking to trade out? I don't know. But they are in they don't have many options. And that's, if you're the Jets, like, you need to get Rodgers. If not, you're screwed.
And let's just remember that we do have a significant Aaron Rodgers bias around here, and the guy still is a pretty damn-ass good quarterback, and he does make that team a whole lot better. But
pretty much everyone is against Aaron Rodgers now, including some of the Packers fan base, maybe a majority of the Packers fan base. So I don't think we're different here just because we're sitting here in Chicago.
That's true. He has burned a lot of bridges and used up any goodwill in many corners. But I did have one Packer fan texting me the other day. That's correct. I texted with some Packer fans, and I wrote back, it's time, and he's like, I guess. Like, he's not, because who knows what that's going to look like with Jordan Love. You might miss Aaron at least for 1 year. But let's get back to here and Chicago and the best coverage for your favorite teams that you're getting right here at CHGO. Get yourself the best sports gear around as well. Foco's got you covered. Soldier Field to the living room, north side, front side, north side, south side. What did I just say? Hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. You know it. You love it. The merch and collectibles, Foco's got it all. Perfect gift for the exactly right. Perfect gift for the football fan in your life. Foco has you exactly what you need. Check out.
We need to get them to sell some like foam bricks with Braggs' face on it.
Oh, God.
That would be good.
Or maybe a foam Braggs.
I mean, it'd have to
Get
be
them
our way.
Your own Braggs for your house.
It'd have to be a
Made of
very
foam.
big foam finger. Yeah. Check out Foco.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use that promo code CHGO for 10% off. We'll play Fitzgerald a little bit coming back here.
You said the Grand Poobah was our best commenter, and then that guy calling himself Andres Nocioni showed up.
That's tough. You're right there with Poobah.
Wow.
And he's got a tip for Hoge. Hoge should check out Al's Deli or Sarkis while he's in the E-Town.
I think Sarkis is.
What about Flo Joe's?
Didn't Sarkis die? I know the owner died. Is it still going, Sarkis? I think it is, actually. I take that back.
I feel like that's yours.
That is my Hoge. Sarkis is still alive. I take it back. It's still going. I don't know why I just thought it was gone. What do you got, Nick?
Yeah, I have to tell everybody, I've been waiting for this ad read, guys. Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped you tidy up all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement. But this year, Manscaped can help you get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Make sure you look your best this spring by using code CHGOBETS to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. It's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun is peeking back out, which means you have to show your face in the daylight again. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you've got glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. Next, the kit has the liquid goods to make you feel good, starting with the beard shampoo and conditioner, which is specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your beard's natural oils and promote beard health. And I could talk about Manscaped all day, but here's arguably the most important part. You save 20% off and get free shipping with the code CHGOBets at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CHGOBets at manscaped.com. Focus on that face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game.
I love that Manscaped brought out "Pump is not hump" out of nowhere. Which might be my new favorite. My new favorite chatter. All right, should we hear from Little Fitz since Hoge was out there? Get a little Pat Fitzgerald in here.
Little Fitz.
Let's see what the head coach of the Wildcats has to say about his Pro Cats, who very well end up, at least one of them, with the Chicago Bears come the end of April here. So Pat Fitzgerald with Adam and the media a little bit earlier today, joining us now, if you will, on our CHGO Bears podcast.
It's a pretty good clip.
Yeah, Carm went to go get Peter Skoronski, apparently. So
He went to go measure his arms.
yeah, go measure his arms, get Peter Skoronski in Chicago.
It's weird
makes
timing.
sense.
Weird timing.
So what I do love about the quote was, we've got our quarterback, and now let's go get our left tackle. And obviously they went out and got Justin Fields as wide receiver. So do you feel like he does need that left tackle also to make that jump, or...
Yeah, I think it would help. And I really want to see what Braxton Jones can do with another season of just getting acclimated to the NFL game. But, if they want to go upgrade that left tackle with a premium guy, then, yeah, you can definitely do that. But for me, I think Braxton Jones can still become a better second-year pro by getting in the weight room, being able to anchor, because that was his issue, Kevin, just being able to actually take on the bull rush and getting, just acclimated to guys like, Aiden Hutchinson. Like, you're going to face those type of dudes in the NFL. So I would like to see what he could do. But if they want to go get that left tackle, and if Skoronski's the guy they identify, go with that too.
Unfortunately, he's going to have to be facing Hutchinson twice a year with the Lions. We talked about it, though, earlier, too. You need the 3-tech to make the vision of Eberflus work, but then you also have so many different holes on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's becoming clear is, like, this is not all going – it should have been clear before, but you get excited and you see the Bears players tweeting and get caught up in the excitement of yesterday, but this is still a multi-year process.
Yeah, you can't fill every hole that you have on the roster, and the Bears had a lot coming into this offseason in one offseason. It's impossible to do. Even though the Bears had the most draft capital or the most cap space and then had a bunch of draft capital, it's just not possible to do that and fill it with premium guys at each position. Like, that shouldn't have been the expectation, but now that we're seeing some of these moves being made, like, when is Ryan Poles going to get, fill X, Y, and Z? It's probably not going to all happen in one offseason. It can't.
It's not, and it's also interesting that they've overloaded the linebacker position. They have bumped Jack Sanborn. They've done it.
It's going to be okay, Carm.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
It won't be okay if TJ Edwards comes in here and takes 57, and you've got to upgrade that jersey. Have we thought about what you're going to do then?
I haven't. I'm looking at Chi-Town's chat here. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter, defensive end Tyree Wilson, defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey, defensive end Lucas Van Ness. They could all go at number 9. All true. And the Jalen Carter thing is super interesting.
And the Bears will be there. We'll be at that pro day, seeing what Jalen Carter. What's up, Kevin?
There's just no way he's going to fall to number 9. There's no way.
Well, okay, so let's just say
the draft is still what, 7 weeks away, 6 weeks away.
So you got the Panthers at 1, Texans at 2, Cardinals at 3, the Colts at 4. Seattle just signed a 3-tech with Jerry Mont Jones, so take him out of there.
Whoever said on the podcast yesterday is going to Detroit, and
Detroit at 6.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Terrifying.
If
that
not,
could
like
happen.
the Raiders, would they take him at 7? Atlanta's at 8.
He does feel like a Raider.
He does feel like a Raider. Man.
But he could. Well, you could very well be right. But the exercise is, if he is there, would the Bears take him?
I
don't think so. I think the McCaskies, when it comes to matters like that, I think they're pretty clear on the type of person they want in Hallis Hall, and I think they impart that pretty well on the GM, no matter who's in charge. Like, you don't really get a lot of question marks coming into that building, and maybe some are created when players are there.
We're not going back to the Tank Johnson days here.
Right. I mean, that was a long time ago still,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Tank Johnson was a little bit of a reach there.
Yeah. No, I just don't think everything that they're setting up that they would do it. I've said that multiple times, but who the hell knows? Maybe they'll get some. They're going to his pro day. We'll see. Duke is in the chat. Love you, Duke. Holy crap, it's Kevin. Overall, I'm happy with the move so far. He's not swinging for the fences, really. Last year was tear it down. This year is set the foundation. Duke, I'm with you. Tremaine Edmunds definitely feels like that for me. Like,
right.
this is somebody that they obviously really like and thought they were getting relative value there for a linebacker at 24 years old, even though the non-premium position. So he does feel like a foundational piece. And they also are filling in some of the gaps here. I mean, that's also what's going on. We got to get somebody in here, DeMarcus Walker, to play, period. Like, I don't think they're looking at that as some long-term piece. Do they look at Nate Davis as a longer-term? Well, they're all young. Walker's a little bit older, but, these are all entering their prime dudes. So there's that. I read one thing about Nate Davis yesterday. Somebody's asking Tennessee, like, what do you think about Nate Davis? And the response back was that Mike Vrabel hates him. So I was like, oh, great. and Vrabel hates him. And then there was plenty of people that were, depending on what you want to listen to yesterday, they were throwing some shade at Tremaine Edmunds, that he's not physical enough and that he looks the part but doesn't exactly play the part at times. That's out there too. And then they're on the other side, I don't want to go at him. He's a really, really, really good player. So
it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, players getting paid and getting that payday is, and then not playing at the level that got them that payday is a real thing in the NFL. But I think at the end of the day, this is still going to come down to how well Ryan Poles drafts. This is not,
100%.
You're not making the Super Bowl on the strength of your linebacking core, right?
You need a lot more with that linebacking core to get to ultimately where Ryan Poles wants to be, and he always talks about at the top. And the Bears aren't quite there yet, but they're going to make the moves that will keep them up there for the longevity. That's a big thing too. It's not instantaneous success. It's hopeful success for a long time.
Duke coming right back at us with a 1999 Super Chat. I want to push back on something I've heard from the, quote, professionals that say sacks aren't an offensive line stat. When the sack results from pressure from the A-gap, it is absolutely on the O-line problem. Get me a big, mean center.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one where you look at the interior pressure. You should put that on the line. It's the ones where there is time and the quarterback's maybe a little indecisive and holding the ball a little bit too long. But I think every sack has a different story to it. You can't always attribute it all on the offensive line or on the quarterback. You have to look at each individual one and see what the story is. But, yeah, interior pressure is a huge thing. That's the quickest way to get to the quarterback. And that's why a center, and like you were saying here, the Duke, is that if you have a mean center, someone who could diagnose where the pressure's coming from, you have a better chance of avoiding those sacks up the middle.
Duke, I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm just telling you, from your friend Carm over here, get ready for some Cody Whitehair at center. Just brace yourself for it because he's going back. Bear Forever 14, $10. You don't have to get premium players at every position this year. You just need to get talent across the board. The O-line must improve or Fields will die. Okay, let's not kill the quarterback, Bear Forever. But
no, we were just talking about that. You don't need premium players at every position this year. But you do want to see him at some of the most important ones. And
I mean, the biggest surprise from last season was Braxton Jones. He played left tackle, and he was a 5th-round pick. Mm-hmm. Can they do that again? Is that how they're going to do this?
It's not the safest way to, guarantee that you're going to get a quality starter who didn't miss a single snap. I wouldn't put my money on doing that again. It's not the likelihood of not very good.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stay positive here that they're going to address the offensive line in a brilliant way. From Luke Urbach, $8.69 super chat. What do you guys think? I can't see this, Lawrence, because where's Luke Urbach?
Caleb and Gary, Yannick.
Ngakoue.
I like Ngakoue. He's in our database here at CHGO. We wrote all about him. Ascending player, I think around 26 years old, if I'm not mistaken, but somebody that kind of fits with the moves that the Bears are already made, right, in terms of getting that young talent that's ascending. So Yannick Ngakoue would be a guy that I'd be interested in.
I believe we have a guest here with Adam Hoge here.
Really?
So hold on one second.
Hoge is returned.
It feels like we might be getting an Adetomawa or somebody from
Return of the King.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, what do we got here?
Hey guys, you hear me okay?
We got you, Adam Hoge.
Yeah, I had a Tamawa, I had a Bore. Did I do okay with
Yo!
this?
Perfect.
All right.
Tommy Wall at a Byron.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I am going to just hand him the phone, guys, and let you talk to him if that sounds good. I just got a chance to talk to him here, so you guys can fire away.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Surprise guest.
This is awesome. Adetomawa, how great to see you. Thank you for taking time for CHGO.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate you for having me.
So you're getting a lot of love for how you performed at the combine. Are you? It's got to feel good, right? Coming into this, that you're moving up the boards.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, today I just had my pro day, so I was just trying to show kind of my lateral change of direction today because I didn't do that at the combine. So just trying to add on to that.
Adetomawa, what did you learn most from your Senior Bowl experience? Obviously, you got a chance to face some of the best seniors in the country. What did you learn most from that experience?
I would just say just kind of understanding the type of player I really am because I always knew I was good, but I just had to kind of go prove it to myself and obviously everyone in the league. So that was kind of one thing I learned, just kind of like the talent, like just obviously the difference in talent and then just kind of my ability to be able to still perform at a high level.
Real quick, was there any player that stood out that you went up against in your one-on-one reps that kind of left an impression on you?
Definitely. So I'll say Cody Mock as well as McLennan Curtis. I would say those two guys were pretty good interior O-linemen.
Do you feel more comfortable playing inside or outside? Obviously, they're going to play wherever they want to put you there, but if you had a preference, do you have one?
Not really, but I would say inside is a lot easier.
Inside's a lot easier.
So I feel like inside allows me to like kind of use what I'm good at, and that's get off the ball.
What has been your impression so far? Obviously, like Bears general manager Ryan Poles was there, Matt Eberflus. You've been around Luke Getsy, who's at the Senior Bowl. What's just been your impression about the Bears staff that they have there?
Yeah, so I mean, just talking with them. I mean, they obviously see me as a interior pass rusher, and obviously like an every down 3 technique. So just kind of talking with them about kind of my film and different things within their scheme. So that's kind of been stuff I've gotten from the Bears.
And you've been on Big Ten championship teams. You've been on teams that have not gotten there. This last year, obviously, a bit of a struggle. So how do you – football's a grind, right? Week in, week out, 17-game NFL season. How do you keep yourself – you've always been, guys, this rep that you are in the gym, ready to go every single day. Where does that come from for you?
I'll just say everyone that's put the time to, invest in me, I'm not trying to let those people down. So from my family to start, coaches, teachers, friends, everybody that's put the time to help me in some way or fashion with schoolwork, athletics, whatever. Those are people that I'm always thinking about as I just continue to work.
Adetomawa, you got a chance to play against Justin Fields. What were just some of your impressions just from playing against him, and what kind of quarterback do you think he ultimately is?
I mean, Justin Fields is a very good athlete and obviously a very good, football player. So going against that kind of caliber player as a sophomore was obviously really cool for me.
Yeah, but you can puff the chest out a little bit right now. For Cat Nation. You guys slowed down Fields. Maybe that might have been his toughest game all year against Northwestern.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
But he still won. So
That is true. They did. Hey, you grew up in KC out of town, but can you just give people a little bit of your family background? I know your parents did a lot to get you here today. That means a ton to you.
Yeah, definitely. So born and raised in Kansas City, 3 little brothers, mom and dad. I got a brother at Oklahoma right now. He's a 5-star recruit. He's up there right now as a early enrollee. And then mom is a nurse, dad's a mental health technician. So just kind of growing up there. Mom and dad came from Nigeria, like late 1980s, early 1990s, somewhere around there. So just been staying in Kansas City. Yeah, that's kind of my childhood right there.
Eddie, tell me, what do you want if you do get selected by the Bears? What do you want Bears fans to know about you, not just as a football player, but you as a person?
Right. So obviously, as a football player, I mean, at this point, I hope I've shown how athletic I am, and then as a person, just great character, intelligent, smart, respectful, kind, all those things. So yeah.
I just want to throw in as we wish you luck here and appreciate you taking some time with us. Your parents were like, yo, you can do this football thing, but you better get your school straight, which is part of the reason why that you ended up at Northwestern, for the record. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was some
I want to chime in, guys. I want to chime in one thing on that point exactly as I try to get the camera on myself. We just talked to him. I did not know this. He's still finishing his degree right now.
Yeah.
So typically pre-draft process, like so many guys go to California, they go to wherever they go to just I'm focusing on getting drafted. You're going through the pre-draft process right now and still finishing your degree. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I mean, I was in Florida, but fortunately for me, I was taking like an online class, so just doing that while I was training. So
one more quarter left, and he's not finishing. He is finishing school, but he's not putting that behind and putting it off for later. So just another nugget you should know about him.
Hey, out of Tommy, we'll see you at Soldier Field, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right, thanks, Adam Hoge.
Yep.
And there we go.
That was fun.
Well, that was awesome.
That was
awesome. Great. I saw the chat. Carb looks so happy. I am a little bubbly. I love that dude. He's a good man.
One more friend made for Carm. One more athlete friend.
The Bears could do a lot worse if they went down that road.
All right, we got to rip through like 5 super chats, then we got to get out of here.
Let's rip. Let's go.
Sherman Campbell, $5. Can't wait to play Madden with all these free agents. #brick by
He may win a Super Bowl title before the Bears do.
Yeah.
This one was sort of related to the last one we did before we got the surprise appearance there. Alfredo, $5. He's suggesting McGarry, Ngakoue, Schultz. If we close out free agent like this, yes. Address defensive tackle, DN, center, and right tackle or left tackle in the draft. I'd also like a wide receiver in the draft in between the 3rd or 6th rounds.
Yeah, I think a later round wide receiver too. Obviously, you need to address both lines, but a wide receiver in the later rounds, I think, would be a good choice. I like some of those guys that we got a chance to talk to at the combine.
Nicholas Picarino, $4.99. How telling is it that polls prioritize 2 of the best coverage linebackers in the league?
Very telling.
It's a passing league.
Yeah, after watching last year and the deficiencies the Bears had in the pass coverage, absolutely telling.
Yeah, we can't get to the quarterback, so we better get some linebackers who can run. Great.
Ron, $1.99. I'm not quite sure what this one means because it seems like he got cut off while he was typing it. Javon and Draymond were 3rd rounders. Polls got. It's a cliffhanger.
God, what did he get?
Ron, he's going to crush the 3rd round, courtesy of that super
It's like
chat.
a Mad Libs. That's a CHGO Bears Mad Libs. Appreciate
polls got and
I don't know. I think maybe he was still typing, but he accidentally hit enter.
Good
sorry about that. Mike Tomczak.
For real? 18?
Yeah, good old 18. 2 linebackers in free agency. Stop with the defense already. How did one of the best defensive lines in football, the Eagles, fare against Kansas City's O-line? Edmunds' contract could have been spent on a quality O-lineman.
Okay, I mean,
it's a reasonable take.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You can definitely play with the Edmunds money and put it elsewhere, which we've done on the show today. Draymond Jones, wherever you want to go. You want to go back to the offensive line and say they could have, whatever, Nate Davis and take away Edmunds and you get yourself McGlinchey. You can certainly do that, but trust in polls, baby. That's what we're doing.
Before we go, can I ask a quick question? So the wide receiver market started to move with Jacoby Myers going to the Raiders.
Yeah, 3-year deal.
We're going to start to see the running back market starts to move, and what do you think that means for David Montgomery?
Phew, that's a tough one, right?
Yeah, running backs is such a strange. I mean, what teams are going to actually give top dollar to some? What is a guy like Montgomery actually going to get? I think that ultimately, staying in Chicago is going to be the best choice.
I hope so.
50-50 is how it feels for me too. But I do wonder with a bunch of running backs getting tagged, if Montgomery gets a little bit more money than the Bears are willing to spend. And if I had to bet, I'm going to say he ends up elsewhere.
We'll find out.
We will find out. Hey, CHGO Cubs is coming up in 10 minutes.
Make sure you buy those brick by brick shirts. They're going fast. So you want to make sure you get in on this first printing. So go out, and if you're thinking about becoming a diehard, now's the time you can get access to that hoodie too.
That hoodie is sweet. All right, Braggs, I'm going to wear your tee and your hoodie and just salute you daily. Thanks for watching, everybody. We, of course, are back tomorrow at noon. And if anything major breaks today, we will be jumping back in as well. I really appreciate the support. Kevin, thanks for sitting in, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
AllCHGO.com. Check it out. Become a diehard.
Sorry, I'm actually going to – Kevin just sent a note here. Kevin Majewski. I don't know how to say that, but he sent a super chat that I didn't see. Sorry about that. He said, my girlfriend's a diehard Packer fan, and so is her family. She saw the tweet and no hesitation said, I hate this guy. Get him off my team now.
Everyone hates Rodgers.
That's a good way to end the show.
Right.
Yeah. Aaron, good luck in New York. We're not breaking in for a live show for you.
Good question. Kevin's taste in women, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.